Here we go. Yeah, we still moving, y'all. Break it down. I don't know who I'm talking to, but the Lord has given me a word for you. Whatever you're going through, yeah, God gave me this word for you. Everything will be alright. When you're going through, just remember this word. Everything. Now listen, everybody clap your hands out now this evening.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Listen, I want y'all to help me sing.
Everything gonna be alright. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again on a Thursday night this week. Between Sundays, this is musician's voice, singer's voice, people's voice, all that stuff. What's going on, Daniel? I see you, bro. What we talking about this week to have me laughing? You said something. I was on a post. I'll remember it. So always stuff. Hey, love all the brother and the sister and everybody, lottie-dottie, all that stuff. And no, we're not going to talk about Drewski tonight. But if it so happens to, y'all can put in the comments how much you laughed at it. This is not the post for how serious it needs to be. But honestly, y'all pray for people that got upset about that joint and laughed at it and actually got triggered by it for one reason or the other. Because you know it's going on, or you're in a place where it's going on and you don't have a voice to speak up about it, or just be real with yourself. So these things ain't nothing new. People doing it all the time. Amazing. He wasn't the first one flying around on a rope. Actually, old Baptist preacher actually did it. So, you know, shout out to the OG that did it and came in with all the saints of God in the place and hoping his old behind ain't fall off the But nonetheless, I'm going to turn this over to Darien and Jay. We're here tonight continuing the conversation, talking about ministry versus gig. All right. Hey, and shout out to Slim and whoever the other person was that played the organ on that Drewski joint. That thing was fire. And it just so happened I met one of the people that was in production with that at another thing. Shout out to Jersey Mason. And I was like, Jers, that's your guy. How about that? Like, I wonder who was on the keys.
Oh, boy.
And that brother sounds just as good as these two gentlemen behind me who I'm going to turn it over to. Here we go.
All right. Welcome back. Between Sundays.
Yo, welcome.
Tonight's episode 62. Again, we're a platform where we offer perspectives of the modern church, ministry, operation, and the many nuances therein from the lens of worship arts and multimedia personnel. If you were with us last week, we started this conversation about, the buzz argument or the buzz social media war or church social media community war of ministry versus gig. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. If you don't mind, share this to your page, tag somebody who you think would be like to hear the conversation, like to be in the conversation. So I want to do a little review, a little recap of some of the things we talked about last week when we hit this topic. First thing I kind of started with was what I believe is many or much of the shared perspective of those who are, let's say, anti-gig when it comes to church and ministry. Many of their perspective, or many of the shared perspective, particularly as they compare the word gig, I think the the controlling thought and comparison that they're using is they liken gig to a club environment. Club environment, with alcohol, with extracurricular substances,
right.
in that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's just been my observation that that's part of why they have such a negative disposition toward using the word gig. Something I noticed that I don't think we brought up last week, Jay, is I don't think the same people have equal energy if the word was job versus ministry.
Wow.
I don't think they would have the same.
They wouldn't.
That equal negative energy as they do with gig, which is kind of why I positioned it the way I positioned it last week. One of the other things that you brought out, Jay, was how, there is, when you look at it soberly, when you dig at even, the definition, it's one, it does not have very many differences, and it's not really as negative as many portray it.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's not as negative as many portray it. One of the definitions we read was had to or reference a job that had a short-term period.
Right. A performance.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people get kind of they don't like
performance
the word
is the buzzword.
Yeah, they don't like that word.
When we looked at that third definition, and it just talked about a job that has a short period, and the example that was listed under that definition was a teaching job.
Yeah.
And I don't think those, again, who share that negative perspective, I don't think that they look at a teaching gig with the same negativity that they look at like a club gig.
Right. Exactly. And when you think about it like this, man, you got number 2 on the word gig, the definition, you can look it up. A job. It says a job, especially one that is temporary or freelance and performed on an informal or on-demand basis.
Yep.
I think that can cover most of it right there.
Yep. Here's something else that came up that we talked about last week as we got into this topic. One of the controlling thoughts that I made was those who would like for the music personnel to be more ministry minded. One of the things I brought up is that that's rarely the texture of the communication in the early stages. And so I even asked the question, I said, okay, how is it that when a church or a pastor is looking to hire a musician, minister, music personnel person, how is it that they are able to adequately measure how well that person will be able to do ministry in that church?
That's a good question.
Particularly if that person was not a product of said church. But you're talking to someone who is not internal.
Right.
You're not doing an internal promotion. Right? You're talking to someone external.
Right.
How is it that you can gauge how well that they will be able to do ministry in your church if they've never done ministry in your church before?
Right.
So when I asked that question, I was pointing towards, if we're honest with ourselves, when we are hiring or appointing someone external.
Mm-hmm.
The gas to that car is not ministry. It's not how well they can do ministry in your church. It can't be.
Right.
The gas to that car is skill.
That and money. I guess we don't like to talk about that kind of thing. But here's the thing. Bruh, you hit the nail on the head. How do you gauge that? And here's what I would say to that point. The only way that you can have an idea of a pastor that is hiring a external musician source that is not from your church, that don't have any skin in the game in your particular ministry, that is not biased.
Yeah.
The only way to know is for that pastor to lead by example.
Uh-oh.
And the musician with the heart of God and the spirit of God can follow. What do you mean by that, Jay? Well, if the pastor is a giver and the pastor says, hey, listen, I want to give $50 and sister so-and-so, her lights are off. Most of us at heart, let's just be honest, if we're in service, most of us at heart would feel some type of way and say, you know what? I'll give $10 to that. Because we all been in a position where we needed something.
Yeah.
However, most of us are not willing to give to the $10 line. That's totally different.
Yeah.
But sister, Deacon Baxter's wife is up there and she needs $10 because her lights is off. Or she needs some money. We don't mind, most of us at heart, with the Spirit of God, don't mind giving to that purpose. But I think that we've become desensitized by a lot of situations. So it's the only way to gauge that is for, I would say, in my opinion, the pastor would have to lead by example in a way of ministry, in an act of love or giving in some type of way that is not beneficial to himself or the church that he's leading. It's beneficial to someone else.
Brother Jay, is that something that you have observed as common?
That's definitely not common. I've experienced it in my 35 years, maybe twice.
And if I can give a little bit clarity to a specific part of this conversation that we're talking about, when we say by example, we're really talking about by example of the expectation. Because again, a lot of those who share a very negative and offended reaction to the word gig in a church and ministry setting, the expectation is that the musical personnel is ministry minded. They focus on ministry. It's they don't treat it like a gig. And let me be clear, neither of us are necessarily disagreeing with the thought of not treating ministry as a gig. We don't disagree with that. We're getting into a little bit of nuance, but ultimately we don't disagree with that. I do want to be specific because at least what I've observed, it's been blanketed and not explained. Let me say it one more time. It's been the blanket of we need musicians that are ministry minded.
Yeah.
We need musicians that don't treat it like a gig. That's the blanket.
Yep.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
And that is Jay's example, or that is what he's saying about being an example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what's funny is, man, I know I'm getting some trouble for it. I just find it funny that most of the leadership. I'm not going to say pastors because sometimes it's leadership is in general. I find it funny that leadership in general complain about calling it a gig at a gig.
Calling a gig at a gig.
Calling the gig at a gig. You're actually at a gig. You're there because I'm sure at the end of the sermon or whatever, you're going to receive an honorarium. I mean, which is basically a fancy word for offering, which is another fancy word for money, funds, frog skins. However you want to put it, you're going to receive. You're not going to receive graham crackers. This is not the cake and juice ministry. How many of us have got paid with cake and juice? There's some fruit punch downstairs and a slice of cake. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a different story. You're going to get some money. See, we don't like to say that.
Yeah.
There's certain words in the church that we just can't stand. And like my man Darien said, we like the blanket statements. And there's just certain words, even though they mean the same thing. Even though they mean the exact same thing, there's certain words that we don't like to express in the church. And ministry is so broad. It can be used any type of way, and which is why it gets weaponized.
Yeah. I got a lot of different directions that's going on in my head, but Pels, I want to drop something on you for your thoughts and your feedback. On my way up, I was watching let's say I was watching a podcast of similar content. Someone else's podcast of similar content. Had a few people on the panel, and one of the pastors on the panel, he made an interesting statement that I'm still digesting. And his statement was, as it pertains to the music personnel and the hiring of the music personnel, he said he makes it his business to inquire the person whether or not they're looking to be hired or they're looking to be pastored.
Whoa. I've heard that before.
Let me say that one more time, and then Pels, I would love to hear your thoughts on that statement. But again, I was watching another podcast. The pastor said when he is in the hiring process of the music personnel, whether it's just a musician, whether it's a leader, he said one of the things he makes it his business, he says he makes it his business to inquire to that person whether or not they want to be hired or they want to be pastored so that he knows how to interact with them. Pelzer.
Ooh, that's a good one. Because good evening, everybody. I was, as you guys were talking, I was like, let's put the word gig almost to bed. It's almost like we kind of missed throwing it away at the end of 2025 and not getting the lines crossed. And the way you're setting it up is good. I like it when it's like I've had musicians play for me where it's like your skill set is not that deep, right? Every musician that came and played for me technically was better than me, and I'm good. So I know I'm good, and they play better than me. When I started preaching stuff that I don't know in the hammer, all these guys knew it. So so the skill was already proven. They didn't need to audition for me because I'm like, our workload in our ministry, the basics that you do, you're not even going to be doing 90% of what you're able to really do. So then it comes down to what's the compensation? The part of compensation is gig no matter how you put it. You don't get paid. If you're getting a check, technically, the check is not limited to ministry. It is a job. And here's the thing that we never really looked at. Even me pastoring, after I closed my church, when people were like, hey, would you consider coming over here or there? The salary is that it's not we need you to minister over here and we'll figure out the salary. This is the salary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you want more than that, don't come over here.
Mm-hmm.
My ministry didn't matter.
Exactly.
So the thing is, ministry is more so a mindset. The ability to play is a skill that allows you to minister in the skill that you have.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, as musicians, speaking of musicians, we look for a check. Because technically, if we minister, if you watch, you can see who's into ministering. And the thing is, so if I needed Daniel to come play for me at a funeral, I'm calling him, and this is a gig. How much do you need to be compensated for your time, sir? Now, while we're there, if he reads the room, shout out to my niece, and my niece Sequia sings, "Great is thy faithfulness." And at the end of the song, people are up. The ministry kicks in
Yep.
Daniel, not the gig.
Exactly.
Right, hear what I'm saying? The ministry kick, the gig is, I need you to play this song, that song, that song.
Mm-hmm.
Funeral starts at 10, you out by 12. I'm gonna pay you this. That's the gig part.
Yeah.
The ministry is watch this here, because there's 8 dudes that could come in and sound great.
Mm-hmm.
The distinction is take Jay, Darien, Daniel, and I'm gonna throw Austin in there. All 4 of y'all guys play different.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody sings Safe in His Arm, all 4 of y'all going to play it differently than the other, but y'all all are going to sound phenomenal. Now we can argue, ooh, but so-and-so do this, so-and-so do that. Everybody got their thing that makes them dope.
Yeah.
All of them are meeting the requirements of the gig. The ministry may be different
Mm-hmm.
because their ability, the oldest guy out of all of them or the youngest guy with the oldest soul shows the ministry. So Darian, something you asked earlier, how do you measure it? You measure it by evidence, fruit, and time, which means you get hired for the gig, but the pastor can't determine your actual ministry ability unless they've already profiled you. Okay, unless they profiled you or they have experience. I've seen you play here. I've seen you play there. I heard you back up that preacher.
Yeah.
Be careful, brothers and sisters that play. When y'all are backing up a preacher, we are looking at your actual ministry capability. Let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Because your gig ability, everybody's just looking with the stank face like you dope.
Yeah.
Your ministry ability has a bearing on the outcome of the sermon. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Your ministry ability has the outcome on how the sermon lands. Because those who play dope behind preachers that don't have ministry in them, the preacher holler early, say yes, sit down, and the church is dry and dead. The ministry mindset one knows if to play a fast song, slow song, to get the preacher back up because they're in the sermon and they know the Holy Ghost told them he ain't finished yet.
Yeah.
That's the difference between gig and ministry, but they are both and, if you ask me. So let's put that to bed on shaming the word gig. I think it's safe to say gig. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I got a gig on Sunday in South Philly, but because I minister when I play. Preachers, their gig technically is, I lead this church.
Yeah.
And they expect me to be here. They expect me to do communion, expect me to go to hospital, expect me to do Bible study, expect me to do that. But in what I'm doing defines what my ministry is.
Yes, sir.
And if I can piggyback off
Come
of
on, man.
what Pell
Yes,
said,
sir.
because that was straight awesome right there. You know, it made me think, if you really want a clear cut on what that line is, you ever go to a concert or a show, classical, jazz, rap concert, when that track is up, everything stops. We're on to the next song. As Pell said, the ministry comes in the church. Even when the song stops, we're still playing. When the pastor is talking, we're still playing. When the scripture, Lord, or the prayer is being prayed, we're still playing. All of that is ministry.
Wow.
Because guess what? You go to any one of those plays or concerts, when they're talking, nothing is really playing until it's time.
Yep.
There is no reprises. Once the song is done, that's it.
Bro, I said this before. Paris Bowens in New York at the what's the spot in New York everybody hits
SOB.
SOBs,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Flow Treat, Jeff Bradshaw, Eric Trivet on the drums, Thaddeus and all. Paris sat there and lost it and ministered in SOBs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Martinet couldn't even say nothing else. Jers just stepped back. Bradshaw put the trombone down because this Negro went into a praise and a worship realm in the middle of the song because he just felt it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't performance.
Mm-hmm.
Because people didn't know. They were just sitting there light. Like nobody knew to be like, damn, oh yeah, son. Or like it was like we was kind of scared to be like, hallelujah, hallelujah. He lost it, buried his head in the keyboard and just went for it and was going and said, my bad. It was like, nah. Everybody give it up and moved on.
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do. So Daniel's point, I was only picking up on Jay, what he said, exactly how ministry can be accomplished through your gig, even in the secular realm.
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. It's you do an R&B gig, and then somebody sings a gospel song.
Yeah.
And it feels so good that the audience starts crying. Are you still gigging or are you ministering now? Right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just,
Yes,
are we still gigging or are we ministering in the gig?
Yeah.
There we go.
Ministering in the gig.
Mhm.
Jay, I want to come back to you with what I posed to Pels and get your thoughts.
Yeah.
But let me repeat the statement.
Mm-hmm.
The statement was when the pastor says when he's hiring or in the hiring process of a musical personnel, whether that's a musician, minister of music, praise and worship leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
He makes it his business to inquire whether or not the person is looking to be hired or pastored so that he knows how to interact with them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that I'm not gonna say it's a con, but for me personally, it was. I've heard this twice as well. I don't. Okay, let me see how to say this because I don't want to. I don't really do well playing for prophetic ministries. The reason why I don't do well playing for prophetic ministries is because a lot of times I'll read them before they read me.
How about talk, sir? I thought it was just me. Huh? I be reading the prophet before they read me. I'm looking like, sir,
like a lot of times,
ma'am.
A lot of times, see, and that's
That's
the thing.
good, Jay.
God will give me what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'll know how to handle that situation.
Yeah.
So when they say, do you want to be hired or do you want to be pastored? No. That make me believe that sorry.
Daniel said you are canceled. He said FB jail immediately. Bro, come on, man.
That says to me, do I want to be? That means, I want you in sonship.
Wow, that's good, young boy.
That I used to fall for that.
Yeah.
And what that was, it had nothing to do with actual ministry.
Mm-hmm.
It had everything to do with I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I want to be your
I want to be your.
Yeah. That was basically I want to be in your business.
Good Lord.
If you work for me, I want to know what you're doing. So if I need to call you at 2 a.m. and be like, hey, listen, let's go to breakfast at 6 a.m. You should be there because you're a son. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You just met me. You heard about me and you like my spirit, but you do not know me. You cannot son me just because you hired me.
Come on, Jay.
I'm sorry, D.
No, you good, man.
Hey, you changing your voice, bro.
Yeah, because I started, when I start to think about some stuff, man, some things start to come out. It's almost therapy. Let me chill.
So let's ping pong a little bit.
Yeah.
With this topic, because while I believe that the person I was watching on that, on that podcast, while I believe they had good intentions with what they were saying, let's put that aside for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to talk about that there are things in ministry context and in ministry settings for both sides, for the musical, creative, and for the, let's say, the pastor, the ministerial staff, the, executive leadership of the church. There's elements on both sides that are triggering.
Mm-hmm.
It's triggering based on our experience.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when we hear certain triggers, do you want to be pastored? Can you submit to leadership?
Don't do it.
Right. We're looking for someone to grow with us.
You opening up alcohol bottles now.
Hey,
pour it on the wound.
No, but isn't it interesting? And again, because I say this from being in that seat, I don't remember most of the pastors that I know. I've never heard in the conversation the invite for a musician to join their church.
I was going there, but keep
right,
going,
like the join is one of them little cards to tie you in, but it's not the first and foremost thing. Because all the calls I get is I need a musician.
Right.
Not it's never. And Jay, this is something when you said that, man, I'm telling you, listen. I don't want anybody to be offended when I'm telling you this. I just believe that we've looked at the Bible so messed up on understanding God speaks to me, right? God speaks through, but God also speaks to me.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing wrong, the Holy Spirit don't need to talk to Jay. It's more so I look at it like I try to told Keith, but I need his wife to tell him. But it's not something that I need the voice of somebody else to tell me every little freaking detail of my life. So in that, I'm saying this, ain't it amazing that the Holy Spirit just never talked to most of these pastors and say, go talk to this person or that person, invite them in, right? And then it'll agree with their spirit and say, hey, I play.
Yeah.
Would you like me to serve? Or I would like to serve.
Yep.
Or how many musicians you see that's not worried about the salary, that just says, that pastor is so awesome and they don't have a great music ministry. It seems like they're struggling and I'm led to show up here. I see Felix. Felix going to be right there with me. I have a full-time job. I have a business and I don't need the check, but I'm not going to turn it down because I will be working. But I am here to help. That's ministry. Right? Like where I'm at, where I part-time go and help out at church, I do ministry. You know why? Because I don't need the bread. And I said, okay, I'll fill in, but I can't find nobody to help that ministry that understands ministry because they will just simply do a gig, period. So me ministering had me preaching there. Me ministering has me to help on this is what you need to do to set up for when somebody else comes in. So to your point, Darien, about this whole thing about, pastoring you or that sonship, as Jay said, that's kind of corny after a while. It's like, why would you treat them any different than the other brothers in the church?
Well, Pels, if I can add something to that,
Yeah, go ahead.
you know, to be honest, you know, my whole thing with that is you can't son me. You don't even know me.
Mm-hmm.
You know my gift.
Yeah.
You don't want to son the person. You want to son the gift. You don't know me well enough
Yeah.
to son me. Loyalty only comes after trouble.
Yeah.
You don't know what type of person I am. I don't know what type of person you are till after peril.
Yeah.
Something has to happen first.
Mm-hmm.
We try, then we trust.
Well, Jay, isn't it like our old analogies from when we first started this? The sports analogy. We look at, some pastors look at musicians like an AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You good until you get enough attitude, or
Mhm.
like an OC coach, you good enough until you call trouble.
Yeah.
I need you in as long as you winning. I need to be over you. I need to
Right.
Jerry Jones you as long as we're winning.
Yeah.
But then when you start jacking up, off you go.
Off you go. Right. And
So
that's the day.
it was you got traded. That's it.
Yeah.
So you go after the dopest player. You get him from the other field, the other church, the other stadium, the other church sanctuary, and then you bring him over to yours. You pay him a better salary. You get him good, and then if everything ain't working right, then you look to trade him for somebody else.
Right.
And
Now, real quick, pals. We all got kids.
right,
We all got kids.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
We all love our children.
yep,
So if I'm gonna call you my daughter, or just let's use my niece, nothing that she does can make me stop loving her.
Ouch.
the heck with you, Negro.
If you go, of course. So if you're gonna say, okay, you want sonship, I wanna pastor you, and that's a personal thing.
Yeah,
You're asking to have watch over my spirit now.
hey,
That's a personal thing,
hey,
pals.
look, Felix is in the conversation, right? And one thing I know about him as my brother, right? I know that he takes relationship personal.
Mm.
So first thing is, okay, I need you to play. This is what the budget is, or let's get you straight on that. Now, I'm a man. I'm a pastor. I am a leader. Iron sharpens iron. I am a teacher, not just in the pulpit, but for your personal life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how you living? Are you okay afterwards? You good? Is everything straight? Like, are you sick?
Mhm.
That's the type of pastoring that we
Right.
would do.
Right.
We're concerned. So we don't have to ask you, do you want to be under that tutelage? I just give it because that's me.
Right.
So if you in my neighborhood, come on over. Would you
Mhm.
like something to eat? Hey, can I get some? I don't have it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I give you this, I need my bread back.
Mhm.
Straightforward. We don't have to go all into as like you said, Jay, the son type thing, and we got to be over you, whatever. We got grown men and women.
But but here's the thing, also, pals. I don't want to just give the negative side of it. I want to get the positive side of it too, because when you trying to sonship, and it's not a gender thing when we talk about sonship.
Right.
So when you talk about sonship, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So let's just say that Pastor, the people wasn't there Sunday morning. Guess what? You don't have my pay for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if I'm supposed to be a son to you, guess what? Okay, Pastor, go ahead. Next week when you got it. I'm not on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
But also, on the other side, if I get a flat tire and I can't make it, don't say, "Oh man, you wasn't here, man. Sorry for you." That's not sonship. Then now you business minded.
Yeah. Flip flopping.
You flip flop. So if you're gonna son me, then understand. Now nobody said be used by somebody, but if you really understand that I really couldn't make it, or the person you hired really couldn't make it that day, give some grace and understand that it's on both sides.
Here's where it goes wrong. Here's the problem with father and sonship or whatever. Take a pastor that's 30s and 30s. The best musician that handles literally your entire music department is 50.
Mhm.
They got 20 years on you.
Mhm.
So you can't young boy them. What the next line is, I got to say I'm anointed to age me over you in wisdom. That's corny because, young Reverend, you ain't even married.
Mm.
I got 2 kids and have been married for 20 years.
Mhm.
What are you really sunning me in?
That.
I've been playing before you even knew how to read Psalm 23. So how can you? So technically, what we have is more of a gig relationship, an expectation, a requirement. But the thing is, we're kind of on iron sharpens iron, and if God has called you to break bread in that sense, and you have this divine relationship in the specifics of that, likewise, I have my specifics that God has gifted me in playing. So you can't tell me that much more than I can tell you with playing. So honestly, you almost got to throw that out the window. And I think that's something that we've built in our ministries on this, my father in the ministry, my son, because I call people fathers in the ministry, and I'm like, y'all about as off and messed up and screwed up, and I'm ashamed to call you my father in the ministry. Sorry, I'm just keeping 100.
And think of it like this. I'm about to give to you, D. Think of it like this. It's still a relationship. It's still even though it's a pastor sonship or whatever you want to call it, or musician and pastor higher, it's still a relationship. And once you're broken, it still goes in that relationship box.
Wow.
So you still have a lot of broken pieces of musicians that are coming from church to church, as well as broken pastors. So you still have a lot of brokenness that's there.
Yeah.
So when you say, okay, do you want to be hired or pastored? Well, that depends. You can't expect an answer right then and there, because I'm not going to give you that right answer.
Yeah.
Because I might say I want to be hired, but I might need to be pastored. But then I may not need to be pastored, but I need to be hired though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need the money.
I'm good on the pastor, but I need to be hired. That's it.
Be hired. Give me my money, let me go. But okay, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
So before I kind of add my side, let me shout out some watchers. 1 Corinthian Nicole,
First,
Josh Gilmore, as mentioned, Dan Corsi,
Man.
DTSP, Pastor Felix Morgan Jr., Nick Rouse, Rakeem Harris, Anthony Butts, who else? Aaron Jackson, thank you all for tuning in. Josh Cole, thank you for tuning in. So, let me do this first. Can you put Pete's last comment on the...
I ain't putting nothing on the screen that Felix said. You talking about this comment?
No. The pastors don't ask for membership.
I know you don't.
All right, so Pastor Morgan, I've been debating on a specific series for this podcast called Church Membership.
Can't wait for that one.
And here's why I've been debating about it. And you in the comments, if you grew up a different denomination than Baptist, you tell me if this was something that was also present in your denomination. In the Baptist denomination, after you got what was called the right hand of fellowship, that was usually after you joined the church and after you did your new members class at baptism, you got the right hand of fellowship. And so this was something that I would hear when I was younger, still hear it today. Sometimes you would hear it at the right hand of fellowship. Sometimes you would hear it at the time you joined the church. This is what you would hear. We receive you as a member of our church with all rights, privileges, and benefits of a member.
Yep.
What? All rights, privileges, and benefits.
I mean, yeah, free parking.
I don't have time to go there today, but that's probably a series coming. Back to what we were just talking about with this pastoring, the sonship.
Yeah.
I believe that it is very difficult to try and package the two simultaneously. I believe it's difficult to package the the hiring you as an employee and pastoring you as someone as a part of the ministry. I believe it's difficult to offer the two simultaneously.
Yeah.
Here's why. Because I have to ask the question, would you be talking about pastoring me if you were not talking about hiring me?
Good one. That's right.
Would that even be asked? Or would you be offering sonship if there was nothing I could do for you in return or do for your ministry in return?
Right. The answer is no.
I would have to ask that question. So I would venture to say it is difficult to try and package those together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you saying being hired and being a member?
Being hired
And being pastored.
and being pastored. Yes.
Well,
it's not
is
that
that
it's
member?
I think that part is subjective.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
In my opinion, many people may believe that, okay, being pastored, you got to be a member.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to go that far.
How many people were pastored by T.D. Jakes?
See what I mean? That's why I didn't want to go that far.
I got you.
Yeah.
I personally didn't want to go that far. But again, I say that because if that comes up, that's a fair question in terms of, again, for the musician, would we be talking about you pastoring me if we were not talking about you hiring me?
Right. Would you still want me?
So
because when they're packaged, then it gives a residue of transaction. Go ahead, Pels.
No, I get you. No, you can jump right back in. I get what you're saying. Like, I would definitely not package two together because, okay, let's look at this. You play at such and such a church, but let's state a home church for you. I would look at you at a home base at Jones Memorial. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Because we know the pastor at Jones Memorial, I'm looking at you're already pastored. And because of your ability to play, minister, meet the requirements of the gig, whatnot, you choose to do so, and you have the blessing of your pastor father. Now, when you play for a church, there's a pastor there. The leadership that you give him, because that's the pastor at the church you play for. That's gig, and you minister in the gig that you do. You are obedient, right? Just as you would be, and this is a troublesome word for some people, you're obedient to your boss at the job, right? So if Jay could be my second keyboard player that has to take every cue from me on a Sunday, but if I work at his job and he's my manager, then Jay is lead, and I'm going to respect him higher than myself.
Yeah.
That's technically biblical.
Yeah.
So the word pastoring is almost like you're kind of conflicting it in. I know a musician that plays at a church in North Philly, and they have a father that is a pastor. And when I go to this other church, I'm like, oh, that's my guy. That guy has a father pastor, but they're at a ministry of a great pastor and a father-like, brother-like figure.
Yeah.
I don't see that pastor having to pastor him because he's already pastored. And because you know pastors, if you're pastored, somebody else can pseudo-pastor you in the moment through a process. Like I would expect my sons to be able to go to Darien and Jay and be fathered in the absence of my fathership, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
So the direct saying, it kind of goes without saying. I would just expect these guys to do that. I would do that for their kids if they needed me to. Simple. I don't have to call it.
Right.
Would you allow me, Saleha, to father you? No, I got it, Dad.
Right.
Now, if I don't have none at all, and I was just out on the road gigging with R&B artists, I don't have a church home or nothing, then I can see it, because that pastor's saying you're not pastored by anybody, and I don't see it.
Yeah.
as to the lie that some musicians say.
Yeah.
I want to play for you, but I don't want to listen to nothing you saying because my bishop is Negro. Stop lying.
But here's the thing,
Jay,
man,
hold up. Let me ask you, because I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, y'all
But I
take
want
it free.
to give you a wrinkle, and whatever you're about to say, you can intertwine it too. Pastor Pete, yes, you absolutely may use us to answer my question, but let me come here with you. This is what I hear in my mind. I'm not even going to say my sanctified mind. That's what I was thinking, but this is that's what I was thinking.
Come on, Doc.
This is what I hear in my mind, what would come or what would be a response from the, let's say, the position of wanting to pastor you or even, looking for sonship. This is what I hear. I hear, well, that is the avenue by which I can be that example to you of the type of ministry I'm looking for you to do here.
Okay. Okay.
So, in essence, for me to be an example and explain and give you insight on doing effective ministry with my church, I have to be able to pastor you.
Wow. Okay.
Your thoughts?
So, I see where you're going with that. And that's definitely a road, I'll call it. That's definitely a road less traveled. It's churches have become so different now. The culture of the ministries have become different. So, of course, the preachers have become different, and the musicians have become different. And so, because of that, the demands are different than what they used to be. Back in the day, we used to talk about it. You would find a musician there at the church 20 years, and you call the pastor his father.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't his blood.
Yeah.
That was common. Nowadays, it's not so common. When you talk about pastoring me, it almost sounds like you're trying to groom me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Watch that right hand.
Right. Yeah. Hold up, man. What's up with that baby oil, man? Get that out of here. That needs to be anointing oil, not baby oil. Get that out of here, pastor. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. But it's different now. These situations are different. So you don't really see musicians that have been at ministries for a long time that can say, "This is my spiritual father."
Yeah.
Most of us have somewhere that we worship that is not where we're currently playing.
Yeah.
Because, and not to say that it's not there like that, but most of us can't focus on that part like we want to where we now play.
Yeah.
Because we're doing our job. And it's very hard to focus, especially in the ministry, if you are touched by the Spirit and you want to go to the altar, that is not your decision. Most of us that play in those type of ministry, you're not at freedom, at liberty to get off the organ or the piano or the drums or the bass and come to the altar. I say keyboards and organists because most of the time it's the keyboards and organists that's playing during prayer. Most of us don't have the liberty to stop playing and it's dead in there.
Yeah.
Get off the organ or the piano and come up to the front. If you do, you're going to get a quick prayer. Father, bless him in the name of Jesus. All right, go play.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen it. It's happened to me. And so I stopped looking for that and started seeking a spiritual father or a spiritual ministry that I could be a part of that is not currently a part of where I work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me. Like I said, I can't speak for everybody. But it just seems like things are different now where it's right now, if you're working at a certain place, that's what they expect. more than your spiritual need.
Yeah.
At the moment. So
Hey, Jay, well, so Felix's last comment is dope. His last sentence, he says, however, through communication, if the need is for you to sit and be healed, my pastor's heart, meaning himself, would have to care more about you, the person, the man, than you, the gift. And to me, knowing Felix, that comes through relationship, right? That comes through, like, I'm not going to hire anybody that I feel as though I can't have a relationship with, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to be all in your business. I don't have to know who you dating, where you work at, all of that stuff. I need to know you well enough that you good so that the door is open for, if you running late, you can call me and not feel like I'm not getting paid today, or if you just off today.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got to have a relationship with you enough to know if you got to send me a sub, you ain't just going to send some knucklehead in there. That comes through relationship.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that is not just built in the sanctuary. It's built outside of it. It's really, you can't really tell a person's ministry aura in the sanctuary, because this is crazy I'm saying this, because when Sunday comes, you are really more gig God rather than you are God ministry, right? Because it's on. You're there to serve people. So you have an obligation. The pastor has to have a message prepared. The worship team has to have songs ready to sing. 90% of the people in church are there to receive. And there's another percentage of people that are there with the obligation of, no matter how you feel, no matter if it was your birthday yesterday, it's Sunday, and you must do this, that, or the third.
Yeah.
Back to his point, that concern about you as a person comes to simply, can I get along with you? Period. Like, forget Sunday.
Yeah.
Can I sit next to you in a coffee shop? Even if I don't rap to you, do I feel okay in your presence? It's as simple as that. So, yeah, to his point, I think there are, shout out to the pastors that are like that.
Yeah.
If they want to pastor you, they're not really going to tell you the good ones. They're not really going to tell you it. Yeah. They're not going to mention it. It just happens.
They wait until you come to them and ask you to pastor them.
Yeah. Exactly. That's good.
That's usually how that works. Maybe not all the time, but that's usually how that works.
Supposed to, yeah.
That's good.
I feel the need to drop this. Short story. Short story of something happened to me. I was being interviewed by a guy, a pastor, looking to hire me to run his music department. And he said something that I immediately knew. Yeah, I ain't in the right place. He said something I immediately knew. Mind you, this is the second conversation I've had with this gentleman. Because what I did was I played, let's say, 2 weeks for his Sunday services. You know, just as a, let's say, a feeler.
Yeah.
So we talked before I played, and we had another conversation talking about, you know, the details of me, you know, considering coming aboard permanently. And yeah, he said one thing. I just knew. Oh, yep, wrong place. What did he say to me, Jay? He said to me, I see you have the gift of preaching.
That's Jay like that. He like, we prophesied to him. I see something.
I don't know if you see it, son, but I can see the calling on your life.
You get some glasses. Cause I ain't say nothing like that. Sir, you overstepping.
I see.
They call on your life. Preach.
Hey, finish your story, but do you know the worst thing that some pastors don't understand? They don't think that musicians are as smart as they are.
Oh, they don't think musicians hear from the Lord at all.
I mean, when you get a preacher is more likely to have only preached. A Baptist preacher is more likely to have only been in the pulpits of Baptist churches to an extent. Kojic pastors have been in Kojic pulpits. Seventh-day Adventist has been Seventh-day Adventist pulpits. Non-denominational, new CCM type. You've been in those. Musicians have been everywhere. They've heard the garbage. They've played the music, got paid for playing the right music for people to get pimped. And they have probably repented. Lord, I'm upset that I was the person on the Hammond while that pastor was up there lying to that woman about her life. You understand what I'm saying? Musicians know way more than you think they know.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, they do. And I say that to most pastors out there, y'all be slipping. The musician is like a limo driver in LA. They know everything. If you know what I said, you know what I said. They know everything. I'll leave it there.
He would not have been too off base if you replaced that PR with a T.
Mm-hmm.
You say I got the gift of teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
He said, I see it.
with the preaching thing, first of all,
You don't believe in the Holy Ghost, Darren.
First
That's
of all,
the
to your point, I won't necessarily challenge your prophetic gift. I will say that you don't know me, and because you don't know me, let's just say that you were being genuine in what you felt you heard from the Lord. I know He didn't tell you to say it then.
Truth out of season is worse than a lie. Just because something may be said, the Lord may say something to you, don't mean you have to speak it right then and there.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Hey, can I ask y'all a question? This is kind of off base, but maybe y'all can answer this question for me. One thing that never sat right with me is, what is up with the center staging of, is the three of us are here.
Mm-hmm.
We're live. We get off and if the Holy Spirit told me, Jay, the Lord said that you need to buy Angel this fish grease.
Right.
And that's gonna, when she used that in this particular seasoning, God's gonna blow up and the business is gonna really do it. Darien, don't buy no more Shure mics. The Holy Ghost told me to tell you to get Sennheiser. And the next gig that you do, ministry that you do with Decibel Group, God is going to enlarge your territory. Here's the thing I'll never understand. Why does it have to be said in front of everybody? I'm just keeping it 100%.
Yep.
It's just me. I'm not picking, and I don't want nobody come from me on the, you just don't understand the anointing. Shut up.
Right.
Stop it.
Right.
Because I'm just testifying. I've seen live prophetic telling to people, and I've seen people jealous. I've heard people like, Jay, the Holy Ghost said, God about to just $10,000 going to drop in this week. And there's 8 people around like, that nigga owe me money. Cool.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, and then everybody looking at you on Saturday like, if the prophet be true, you got my bread.
Bro.
And then Jay would not know how to say, well, I think he lied because ain't nothing happened. I owe something else. Like, the thing is, when do we get to a place where we stop the shenanigans or test the spirit by the spirit? And I only branch into that for when, as musicians, we allow preachers that heard you play one chord, all of a sudden they got this big revelation that God told me to tell you, and you gonna do this. Dude, stop lying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The folk tired. I'm just keeping it 100%. It's enough is enough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So real quick, I did want to, if I can, I wanted to address a few, well, really just one thing from Pastor Pete's not his most recent comment, but the comment he said, and more times than not, as long as you're getting the check, there's no reason for the membership submission. You get all the benefits without the commitment. So, Pastor, I'm gonna be reaching out to you because I would love to have you up.
He right around the corner. He know he can bring his black.
I'd
let me not
love
cuss.
to have you up.
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
really dig into this membership thing.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of nuance in there. I think one, we definitely have to talk about what those benefits are. But like one of the nuances I see, maybe not common, one of the nuances I see is, when we talk about the benefits without commitment, like for instance, the church that I am an employee of currently.
Notice how you said that.
I'm not.
Bells, you hear that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm employed.
Talk, preacher.
I'm not a member of that church. I'm a member of another church.
Mm-hmm.
But my not being a member there, it has no bearing on my level of commitment there.
And ministry.
Right.
And ministry.
And
Say it,
ministry.
sir.
So my commitment there is over and above what they pay me for. And again, I'm not saying that that's common, but that's why I want to have the conversation about church membership. Because I would suggest that even though, again, it may be more of an exception and not the norm, you have a lot of people in and outside of music, a lot of people that their commitment to a church that they're not a member of exceeds the commitment of the members.
Right.
So that's why
Damn,
that's why I really want to talk about the whole church membership thing.
Good Lord, that's good.
I really want to peel that. I want to open that cabinet wide open. But go ahead, Jay.
You see, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let it go. You ask any traveling preacher, evangelist, televangelist, strangers are going to give more than the people that know you.
Mm-hmm.
When a televangelist goes to Jackson, Mississippi, and he's from Philadelphia, they don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
So he could say whatever he need to say and bring 10,000 home that night. But let him go somewhere in Philadelphia where he's known. They can get that.
Yeah.
He can go to his own church and they can get that.
Wow.
Facts. So let's close with this, Jay. Let's close with maybe trying to answer this question from our own individual perspectives. And the question is, particularly the two of us as, those who are leading, either music ministries or worship and arts ministries, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it what are our expectations when it comes to being pastored? What are our expectations? Or, what are some of the things that maybe we would say we need and are looking from the person that, we have chosen to pastor us?
My first thing would be transparency. After 30 plus years in doing what I do, that's something that's uncommon.
Yes, sir.
Honesty is not transparency. You can be honest with someone and still not be transparent.
Yeah.
But transparency tells the whole story.
Yep.
This is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going on.
Yeah.
I can deal with you saying I ain't got it.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, cool. We'll still go. We'll still play pals, won't we? We'll still go. We'll still play.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But when you say, yeah, we you'll be all right, just come on through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on through, then you wait till after. Then you say, yeah, we didn't, I'm sorry, but I'll take care of you next week. Next week I'll take care of you the week after. Now it seems, you see what I'm saying? But when you're transparent, look, I ain't got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And guess what? It ain't even got to be about the money. It could be, hey, listen, man, I need some help.
Yeah.
Or I know you're a musician. You mind praying with me real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I got a pastor that tells me every Saturday to pray with me.
Mm.
That's it. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Just to pray. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I love that because it's so uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you want. He don't want nothing else. Let me just pray with you.
Yeah.
Praise God. I don't have to play for him. I don't have to do no revivals. Just let me pray with you.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I care about how you are mentally and spiritually.
Mm.
I know you can play. I ain't worried about that.
Hey,
How are you mentally and spiritually?
Look at this, and I agree with him 100%. I was never on I ain't got it.
Yeah.
I was like, we will get it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, man. Like, just be. But his thing, we would do it anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. Pete, you got it, bro. We would do it. It's not a thing of just be honest. I'm not talking about you, but anybody. That's what. So when you say what would I would be looking for, it would just be transparency, man. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say, you know what? I'm saying this because Felix and I, we talked about this. People like us, we have suffered from being transparent and being honest. And this is not to flip it around and flip it back on musicians. So I'm gonna take
Please give that
tonight.
perspective.
The musicians are the good guys. Period. We're gonna stick on that, and we're not gonna dig into. I know some people. Granted, you probably will know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I'm speaking good about musicians on this. I've seen it in this. What the Lord just dropped on me. When you think about Jesus and the disciples, right? You have we know this is Jesus and the 12, right? Or even if it's this special mission, you have the sons of thunder, Peter, James, and John, right? Now, isn't it funny that ministries don't, I've never really seen ministries that look at the musicians, praise and worship team on the same platform as here's the pastor and there's my ministry staff team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these are the ministers, meaning associates, youth pastors, this, that, and third, and then there's the music department. It's amazing if we start thinking in terms of how effective music ministry is in our churches today, right? That we rethink and come to a place where pastors are not greedy. I'm not calling pastors greedy, but I'm saying that the focus doesn't go on the pastor has to have this salary and everybody else can't be nowhere close to it, more so than an understanding we all are going to be taken care of well, right? And we are doing this together because you really rely on that music department, right? You do rely on that ministry team. And I think it just all needs to kind of mesh together. But as far as the transparency and the honesty, sometimes it's not reciprocated. Yeah. And some pastors I've seen them struggle because they pour it out.
Absolutely.
And only thing they want is the money, and that's it. They're not really trying to grow or see or at least set up for succession or nothing like that. So it's a hard place, but I just wanted to throw that in there at that, it needs to be thought of that music department is not some like an accessory or something. Like it's not a side joint that you bring in to keep the night going. It's like, no, this is it. And once we start to think like that, I think musicians will think better. They'll be more concerned and the ministry that's in them will have room to come out, right? It'll have more room to blossom because I don't even think we've tapped into what God has put in most of these musicians that are playing in churches because pastors are so busy trying to be or maintain star status that it's like at the end of the day, you don't have to be the biggest shine. You're the pastor.
Yeah.
What's in the rest of the people that are being heard? Have you sat and talked with them? Have you asked the musician, how are we feeling with the prayer? Did you see anything? Did God speak through you?
Yeah, that part, right.
Right? Like most pastors, I'm about to shut up, but most pastors have no idea that some of you folk, men and women that are playing, y'all chord structures is ministry, not a show off.
Mm-hmm.
Like you trying to figure out, you have to go back. I'm gonna say something, drop it on y'all. You ever played something and you like, what did I just do?
Mm-hmm.
And you had to do what you just did because God struck you because of the cry out of that woman's mouth over there.
Yeah.
Some pastors don't stop and ask in that moment what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Mm.
What's the conversation and building and growing on that? That will transform ministries in an awesome way if there's communication like that. That's just my opinion, y'all.
We getting out of here. Let me shout out a few watchers, and I'll give my answer. A few extra watchers that came in: Julian Brissett. I think I saw Vicky Caldwell Fordham, Cherie June. Again, thank you all for tuning in. So let me give my answer. And again, this is from the lens of, again, you and I, we sit or we operate in roles that, we oversee, music departments or worship and arts departments, right? So if we were to throw in this pitcher of Kool-Aid, if we were to throw the whole church membership in here, I believe that the objective for many of throwing that in there, we hear the explanation of being invested, being invested in the ministry of that church, and church membership being a symbolism of being invested. Now, we talked about this a few months ago, and I brought up the being invested in something but having no equity.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Being invested but having no
equity.
So for me, it's very clear on whether or not I'm being pastored by an individual, even if it's not my pastor. Because I do believe that I can, while having a pastor, I can also be pastored to an extent in a place where maybe I'm not a member of the church, but I serve. I believe that both can work together. Right. Personally. So one of the things that jumps out to me is, what are the conversations like? Are the conversations only about what I do?
That's a good
wow.
one. That's a good
If the conversations are only about what I do, then it says to me I don't have any equity in the ministry that you want me to invest in.
That part. And nobody invests in anything without some kind of equity.
So I would liken it to, again, even if we want to, like I said, throw church membership in the Kool-Aid pitcher, I would liken it to, particularly when you want people to invest in the ministry of the house, I would liken it to your people having a key that opens a specific, let's say, a locker. The key got to be cut right to open a locker. If I can't open a locker, how can I consider myself a part of whatever is inside the locker? I don't have access.
Wow.
That part. Wow, bro.
I don't have access. So when you talk about pastoring someone, okay, what type of access is that person given?
Wow. That's good.
My goodness.
Well, again, if you truly want to pastor them, if you truly want to pastor them, because I struggle to see how you can kind of pastor at arm's length.
Yeah, right. Kind of
True that.
oxymoron.
I again, it pastor in the verb sense, as opposed to in the noun sense of being the pastor. I'm talking in the verb sense of you approaching and inquiring about pastoring someone. I struggle to see how you can do it at arm's length.
Very true.
So again, what for me, what is the access? And I'm not saying access to abuse.
That's right.
Right.
I'm not saying, Pastor, if you don't answer the call, I got big problem with you. I'm looking for that. Nah, I'm not going that extreme. But again, for me, it's all right. Can we have conversation?
Can we?
All right. And can we have a conversation, even when it involves ministry, about maybe things that are adjacent to what I do? You know, such as, and Pels alluded to this, such as maybe some of the moving parts of the worship experience. Notice I didn't say I need full say over it. I said conversation.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. Do I have access to that conversation? All right. Is there a time that I am given access to things that impact finance?
That's touchy.
Can we have that conversation? And can we have it with a level of transparency?
That's right, bruh. You spoke that.
Brother musician, can you put together a program? Now you're needed.
We getting out of here next week. Next week, meet us here on Tuesday night,
real quick,
10 p.m. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
So another thing that I'm sure we all can agree on, pastors, we have to do better. Make sure while you have a goblet of Hawaiian punch, nice and frosty up there, don't send your musician a small Dixie cup of some water, some warm water. That nurse, tell that nurse to go up and pour some of that Hawaiian punch in a goblet,
in a goblet,
and with some ice.
My
and
goodness.
put it on that organist. Put it on that, or put that goblet right on the top of that organ, and that's how you know you're loved. All right, go ahead.
And always have somebody to open the communion cup for the musician. Goodness great.
How you playing?
I was trying to open the cup up and hold the C pedal at the same time. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
That's all we ask.
Again, meet us next Tuesday night. Instead of Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
So, Tuesday, January 20th. We're going live at 10 p.m. Looking to see you. Maybe we wrap this up, possibly start a new series. We getting out of here. I'm your co-host, D. Brister.
Jay Morris.
Juice, we out.
Got my joy, back my joy.
Oh, man.
I've got my joy, been restored. I've been restored. Got my joy, back my joy. I've got my joy.